Hi everyone, today I'm going to be going over the brightness tool within the Baumer Verisens software. The way this tool works is it's going to measure the average brightness of the pixels within the area. So I'll show you how to get there. So you go to check features, you click add, and you go to feature comparison. And within monochrome cameras, you're going to have this set of tools. The color cameras are going to have a different one, but this is a black and white camera, monochrome. So we're going to have a brightness tool right here. We double click that, and then you're going to be able to draw an area. So I think the default is a circle. Yep. I typically change that to a rectangle. And then you're going to be able to draw an area, and then it's going to measure the average brightness of the pixels within that area. And the way pixel brightness is measured is on a scale from 0 to 255. 0 being black and 255 being white. And then the grays in between are somewhere in between there. So in this case, this makes sense because this is pure white, so it's 255. If we move this over to gray, you can see this is measured at 172. This has a value of 84, and this has a value of 0, which makes sense because it's black. So that's how this tool works. And like I said, it's an average, so if you move this, so this was 255 and this was 172. If you move this somewhere in between, you can see how that value changes because it's taking an average of everything inside there. So right now it's at 209. If we move it more towards the white, it's going to increase. So 222, 229, etc. And that's gray value. You can see here these are the upper and lower bounds for what your acceptable range is. You can make it really tight, or you can increase it so that more passes. You can make this box as large or small as you want. I like to fixture this typically off of a search tool, and you can watch some of my other videos on how to do that. So that as the part moves around, this tool will move around with it, and you do that right here. If I had a search tool trained in, you would be able to select it from this drop-down menu, and then it would be fixtured or track off of that tool. There's only a couple other things here. This is a pretty simple tool. So this option here, so we were going off a gray value, which like I said was a value from 0 to 255. You can also go off of percentage. And the way that works is you go to your area that you want, and then you select, or you press teach, and then that automatically becomes 100%. And then everything else will be graded off of that. So this is 67% of the original brightness, this is 33% of the original brightness, and 0% of the original brightness. It's just another way of seeing it. So for example, if we went to 33%, we taught it there, this is going to be 205%, 302% of the original brightness, which was here. Typically I like to leave it in gray value just so I can see what the actual value is. Alright, the only other thing here is the reference area, which is useful if your lighting is varied. Typically you won't need this, but let's say your lighting changes between images. Shouldn't do that, but if it does, you can use this reference area. So you train the reference area on, let's say, a part of the image that's not going to change. So you know it's always supposed to be the same value. And then as your lighting changes, that trained area is going to change in brightness. So it'll get darker or lighter. And then your value up here for your brightness is going to change with it. So it adjusts based on how your lighting changes, which is pretty cool. So let's say this is our trained area, right? And then suddenly the lighting got brighter. So we're going to move this brighter. You can see how the brightness of our original area went down because it thinks the whole image just got lit up more. And if we bring this down this way, you can see how it maxed out again to 255 because it thinks there's less light on the image. And that's how to use that, and that's really all there is to this tool.